Well. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts, and today, like every single weekday, we're coming at you live from our beautiful studio in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. On today's show, you don't want to miss today's show. So if you're here, congratulations. Also, before I move forward, very, very important announcement. Today is our man, Jimmy's birthday. Rocco, can we get a round of applause for my friend Jimmy? 21 years young. Jimmy, we love you, man. One of our staunchest supporters, allies of the channel. We appreciate you. Always gifting memberships, always helping people out, always tuning in, keeping the chat exciting. So to you, Jimmy, a special birthday shout out, brother. We love you. We appreciate you, and happy birthday. Now, as far as crypto, what are we talking about on the show today? Well, today's Forest Friday, but also today's a very special day. We have a newcomer on the channel in studio, never been on a channel before. You've probably heard of him on YouTube. We have Crypto Zombie joining us, and we'll introduce him here in a second. We're also talking about Joe Biden. I have 3 videos from Joe Biden, guys. Believe it or not, 3 videos. We're also talking...
The triple threat?
The triple threat. We're talking Hedera Hashgraph and how that network seems to be exploding with stablecoins. Chainlink continues their integration and interoperability across chains, and much, much more. But first, here is your other host, and his name is Rob.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, and, well, stale information and repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way. And then we take a look at the price of Big... Are we at 30,000 yet?
First, we got to bring in our other host. Yeah. So, guys, if you've watched this channel, you know Fridays are the only day where we have 3 full-time hosts, and today is no different. As always, on Fridays, we have our man Forrest joining us. Forrest, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, pleasure's ours, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, as I mentioned before, we have a special in-studio guest. It is none other than Crypto Zombie. Rocco. Zombie!
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. It's long overdue. We were supposed to do it last time I was down here, and we couldn't do it, so...
We got drunk. I'm kidding.
Vegas happens, bro. Vegas happens.
Hey. Absolute pleasure to be here. I love the studio, man. I'm excited.
Hey, man, we're excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. Zombie, I can't imagine anyone watching doesn't know who you are, but let's just say people don't know who Zombie is. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, boy. Where do we begin? So, I've had a YouTube channel for about 6 years now. I got into crypto in 2017. Run of the mill really quick. I used to work for a family business. You know how that is. You're butting heads with family. I was seasonally unemployed over the winter, started looking into crypto, bought my first Bitcoin in May of 2017. And it was funny because I had a guy, he was my mentor. He was doing some affiliate stuff, and he was actually paying people with Bitcoin as like virtual assistants. And I was like, wait, this thing that I heard about in college, this is still a thing? People are still using it? So, I bought like $100, came back next week, it was $200. So that's when I was just like, okay, what is this? So I started accumulating more. And then as I started listening, it became less about the money and actually more about, the protocol. You start to understand it. You start to, you can't sleep at night. So that's when I was listening to a lot of channels, but I felt like they really didn't speak to the average person. Back in 2017, 2018, it was very like technical, and I just kind of, had nothing to do. So I decided to make a channel, and I wanted to make it for the everyday average person. And it was crazy. It just kind of took off. I guess it was one of those things people just related to. So long story short, I got so obsessed with Bitcoin. I'm not suggesting you guys do this, but I ended up throwing my life savings into it. I wasn't working anymore, but the money that I did have that it was coming in, I put it all into Bitcoin. My house went into foreclosure. I sold both of my cars, and I rode a bicycle for 2 years. And I literally did nothing but accumulate Bitcoin and make crypto videos and share my journey. And somehow it worked out. But I like I said, I don't suggest doing that. But here we are today with Sin City Crypto. It all worked out. So not financial advice, but that's sort of in a nutshell.
Man, talk about conviction, right? I literally stopped paying my bills and rode a bicycle to buy Bitcoin.
Are you still riding the bike?
I should have kept the bicycle as like sort of like a memento, but no, I actually gave it to my neighbor's friend. So I figured
it's a good man right there.
He could use it more than me.
Guys, before we get the show on the road, a couple things. First, our sponsors. Today's 4K stream is brought to you by our first channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want your cybersecurity, your networking, and your IT solutions at your business up to par and the best they can possibly be, and you just don't have time to figure that out, or you need to make money for your business, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Also, today's show is brought to you by Radix, the top layer 1 DeFi in our space, radically better DeFi. If you want to learn more about the network, what they're doing, their ecosystem, and the big Babylon upgrade, make sure to visit radixdlt.com or click the link in the description of this video. Now, speaking of videos, Zombie, we like to start our show off with some funnies. You know, we got to open up our lungs, we got to open up our hearts, and we got to open up our laughter. And well, I did mention we have 3 Joe Biden videos. You guys remember when there was a picture of Joe Biden with the mug with the laser eyes?
Yeah.
Guys, it's happening. Joe Biden is officially
I think you should buy this mug.
a Bitcoin maxi.
I'll ask you nicely, but he won't.
This is real?
This is real.
Those in the dark too?
Forrest, will you be buying one of these mugs?
No,
No?
absolutely not.
Zombie, what about you?
If it looked like how it always looked in the dark, sure. But I don't know if I want to look at that every day.
You know Rob's buying it for sure. Rob likes buying odd things.
Yeah.
Just go to his house.
I'm gonna buy one.
Now, here's another Biden video. So this one says, Biden starts randomly screaming during his speech in Maryland. Well, here we go. Joseph, what do you got to say now?
You're going to pay somewhere between 20 and 40% less in those other countries. Same exact drug, made by the same exact company.
I'm sorry, man. He's just
What's going on with this dude, man?
You okay?
I don't think so.
somebody check on Joe. And then we have the prime.
He's like the guy in the produce department at Walmart is yelling at the fruit.
Rocco, you know. So look at what Joe Biden tries to do to the prime minister of Italy. I think it's unacceptable. Joe Biden tries to sniff the Italian female prime minister's hair. The prime minister of India has to say, "Hey Joe, please."
Nelle dichiarazioni finali
Look at his face.
nelle dichiarazioni finali ci nelle dichiarazioni
This is the guy that is literally holding back our space in crypto.
It's the same guy in the produce aisle. He's
Same guy.
making sure that it's right.
There
Making
you
the aroma.
go.
It's, you know,
He's like, ooh, cantaloupe. And starts knocking on her head.
So, guys, we know inflation's bad, right? You know, a lot of people, you know, you have politicians saying corporate greed, too many people making money. You have us saying, hey, the government printed too much money. The Fed just ruined everything. And then you have the Canadian Prime Minister, and well, this is his reason for inflation.
It's not okay that our biggest grocery stores are making record profits while Canadians are struggling to put food on the table. So Minister Champagne will be calling on the heads of large grocers to come to Ottawa with a plan to address the rising cost of food.
That's it. It's the grocer's fault.
That has got to be the dumbest thing ever. Like, if the farmers are saying, hey, apples are now 20 cents per instead of 10 cents per, what are the grocery stores supposed to do? Right? Zombie, are you worried about inflation? We've seen a tick back up from, so second month in a row where year over year we've gone up. And so we know what happened in the 70s, right? Inflation peaked, came back down, and then re-peaked again. And that's when Paul Volcker stepped in and had to hike up interest rates to 20%. Not saying that's going to happen again. But what are your thoughts on inflation? And what are your thoughts on how that correlates to what could potentially happen in the crypto markets? You think it'll help boost it? Do you think we'll see a bigger one? Or you think it'll delay the bull market a little bit? What are your thoughts?
Well, if you notice in the beginning, it was a little bit more correlated where at first, you know, people were looking at the CPI, looking at the inflation, and if it would come in a little bit hot, then they'd freak out like, oh, the Fed's going to, you know, raise rates or keep it where they're at. But I mean, look what happened Monday. We came in a little higher than expected, and you saw Bitcoin not really caring. In fact, I mean, we kind of retraced a little bit, but the markets did the opposite of what you thought they were supposed to do. So, I mean, let's be real. They're lying about inflation anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever they're saying it is, it's probably closer to like 11% or 12% even at that point. And at the end of the day, it really only is going to be better for things like Bitcoin. Now, in the as far as groceries and stuff, it's inevitable. I mean, it's baked into the system.
Right.
We're never going to get back to 2%. But yeah, I don't see it. I don't see them getting to their goal.
You don't think we're ever going to get back 2%?
No, impossible.
I agree.
I completely. It's just like it mathematically would make no sense to be able to pull that off. If we hit 3%, it would be a miracle. Now, of course, that's their 3%, which is still probably realistically 6 to 7%.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as far as like Bitcoin and things like that go, I think eventually they're going to hit a wall. Money printer gets turned back on, and yeah, but it does suck for the for the average person. I do feel generally bad. I've seen the gas prices, I've seen the food, but hey guys, eggs came down.
That's a good
Eggs are
thing.
a little cheaper.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's very good. A lot of egg sandwiches. Forrest, we haven't had a chance to ask you. The CPI numbers came out on Wednesday, second month in a row, year over year, that we're up. Also, like to note, month over month PPI is rising at the fastest pace over the last, let's say, 18 months, I believe. What are your thoughts on the whole inflation scenario? And kind of ask you the same question as Zombie. And what do you think? What kind of effect that would have on the crypto markets?
Yeah, so the big problem lately is kind of what we outlined towards the beginning of the year, and last year was kind of talking about hedging into oil and the energy sector, because the nightmare scenario is where energy starts getting more expensive, and now crude oil's trading above $90 a barrel again. It's just not good. When you have high energy prices, due to whatever reason, whether it's geopolitical tensions, which ultimately lead to a lack of supply of oil and energy, and policies where we're drilling less in the United States that lead to high energy, high natural gas prices, high oil prices, high electricity prices. That all leaks into the CPI and PPI data. It also has a laggard effect on raising prices for products and goods and services, right? The Amazon packages getting delivered to your front door. They have petroleum-based byproducts in them. More expensive oil and petroleum leaks into that. They have to be delivered. It's going to raise prices across the board. So high energy prices is something that I don't believe that the Fed can combat just by hiking rates. They can keep rates hiked as long as they want, but as long as energy prices continue to stay elevated, they're going to have a really, really hard time bringing inflation down. And that's just because, oil prices being high is going to leak into everything else. As far as how it affects the crypto market, it just equates to less expendable income for the average consumer. And whether people like it or not, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are still, by most people, considered risk-based kind of tech-based risk assets. Right. I know we talk about it potentially being a hedge against inflation, but the truth of the matter is, for most people, they're not putting money into Bitcoin. Aside from the most dedicated, convicted crypto people, the average person isn't putting that money into Bitcoin unless they have expendable income, unless they're getting a stimulus check, unless unless times are good and inflation is low and they have money to put into Bitcoin. That's why I think this Bitcoin ETF is such a big deal, because you can then start getting money through the 401ks and through other traditional means, rather than have it be just kind of like this extra extra income that people are investing.
100%. And you talked about the price of oil and energy leaking in everywhere. You guys got to remember, the easiest comparison I'll draw is the trucks, the semis, right? The ones that take the food and everything from the plants and the manufacturers to the stores. They got to pay more in gas. They're going to pass that along to the grocery stores, and the grocery stores are going to pass that along to you. So it affects everything. And so with that being said, we'll take a quick intermission. I'll throw it to Rob. Rob, why don't you?
All right. So real quick, if you are new here, say hello so we can drop that hola back at you. Have Rodney C, Rudy Lane, Paul Wu, Bradley B, and Cryptic Sniper. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, we were at 50 likes and 130 viewers, so we got less than 50% like ratio. It means half of you don't like me, or somebody else here on the panel. Do us a favor, hit that like button.
Hit it for Jimmy's birthday.
At least pretend to like me. Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah. Hit it for my man Jimmy and his birthday. All right, guys. One last thing on this funny, and then we'll move on. We all have pickup lines. Okay, right? Where we pick up ladies.
So many of them.
Well, have you guys heard Vitalik Buterin's pickup Prepare to be amazed. Get out your notepad and your pen, gentlemen, and potentially ladies, because I guess this is a unisex pickup line. Here we go.
You say
What's your
Uniswap?
favorite pickup line?
What?
Okay. What's your favorite pickup line?
What?
You're so cringe.
Oh boy.
Okay. What's your,
How to instantly creep a woman out. There you go.
You know, I'm happy Vitalik doesn't have any game. You know why? Because if he had a lady in his life, he wouldn't have time to build Ethereum. He wouldn't have time to do these big test nets.
Well, you're
So I think it's good for the
assuming this
community.
dude has got no lady in his life, man.
I'm saying
Maybe
not with
he's
those
just-
pickup lines.
Maybe when the cameras are off, he's at like the
He's a
at
player?
Omnia.
Yeah,
he's at
sure.
the nightclub out here, just straight
Yeah.
bottle service.
Yeah.
You know,
He's pulling like what's that guy Kaiser Soze whatever like from that movie where
Yeah,
he's pretending to be-
Unusual
it's like
Suspect.
as soon as he goes in the other room he just like gets all swanky and like he's a completely different guy.
Takes off his mask.
you remember Urkel? Remember that show?
Yeah, when he would like
Family Matters?
and then he would turn into
Stefan.
like Smart Urkel or whatever that. Yeah.
Stefan, it was the.
I haven't seen that in
alter
years.
Ego, so
Yeah, that was a good show, man. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
So
also
this
a
is
good
so this is like
different
this is like his Clark Kent.
show.
yeah.
Yeah. Vitalik the man. So
Dude got a lot of money, man. That'll
he sold
that'll-
ETH at the top last market.
That'll address a lot of issues.
Yeah.
With personality.
Also, accountability is a big thing, and we're excited to announce that Cats is officially taking accountability by donating $5 to us, saying, I forgot to hit the like button. I'm paying my fine. Please, if you have not hit the like button, also pay a fine. I'm just kidding. Hit the like button.
Also, if you hit the like button, put an Ola in the chat. Let's get the Ola chants going. Ola train. I'll be the first one to put it in there. See if we can get 100 Olas in the chat. So there you go.
Okay. All right. Guys, this is not funny, but I want to share this with you. And I think it's important for people who, I don't like the word influencer, but obviously, if you have a big platform, you tend to influence people's decisions. And so this is Jason Casper. He's a big TA guy, super cool. Haven't met him in person, but been on around the blockchain with him, spoke to him behind the scenes. Just a really cool guy. And he posted this with a video. $700,000 worth of crypto were stolen from me last night. Please watch my latest YouTube video. To the person that hacked me and stole my money, I pray God blesses you. I did watch the first probably 60% of the video. He essentially says he had this entire amount of money on Exodus hot wallet, and at 3:30 in the morning, his wallet got hacked. His passwords got hacked. And so this thing sucks, man. And this is from someone, Jason, has been in the space for a very long time. The guy's a professional. He trades, he invests. And so I guess I kind of want to, anything that you guys on the panel here want to give any word of advice to the newcomers, to the people that have been in the space forever. We'll start with you, Zombie. Any personal advice you'd give?
Yeah, I mean, I woke up this morning. I saw it as well. I didn't have a chance to watch the video, like you said, but basically the gist that I got from the portion that I did see was that the majority or all of these funds, they were on a hot wallet. They were on Exodus. So this is obviously a wallet you download. It's on your desktop. It's pretty much always connected to the internet as long as you're connected to the internet. And that's good for, small amounts. I kind of look at a hot wallet as my wallet in my pocket. When I'm walking around the streets, how much money do you actually want to keep in your pocket? God forbid somebody, you never know. You're walking, somebody, comes up, clocks you, they take your wallet. That's the largest amount I would be willing to allow someone to take or to lose. So, and I feel really terrible. I met Jason. He's a great guy. I don't know what his thoughts behind leaving it in a hot wallet was, but if you are serious about controlling your own crypto and you have especially that type of an amount, everybody has a different amount that's considered a lot to them, cold storage is the way to go. If you are not actively trading, you're not trading every day, you're not a day trader, you're a hodler, or you have a stash that you're looking to use at another time, then you got to get a cold storage wallet. Doesn't matter which one. I know Ledger had some issues. There's Trezor. Engrave is a pretty cool new one that came out as well. And yeah, it's really crazy because basically when you say get hacked, it's not like the blockchain got hacked or anything. Right. It's literally just you had an app that had a password that, you know what I'm saying? And I feel terrible that happened to him. But yeah, like I said, if you guys are serious and you're not trading, you should get your coins off of exchanges. You should get your coins off of hot wallets. You get a cold storage wallet. You set it, you put it away, forget it. You know what I mean? And that's just, But that's it's sad that he had to learn that lesson. But in a way, hopefully, this might prevent someone else having the same situation happen to them.
Right. And I applaud Jason for sharing the story just so we can, show people like a case study, like, hey guys, this stuff happens to even the smartest people, the people that have been in the space for a long time. Can happen to me, can happen to you. So take it serious, take safety seriously. Rob, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on this? Any word of advice you want to give to our community?
I mean, anytime your crypto's accessible to the internet, it's vulnerable. So even if you do cold storage and say you're staking it or trying to stake it or trying to move it to an exchange, send it somewhere, that's a vulnerability point. So I would just try to minimize that as much as possible. And it's also, there's nothing wrong with having multiple wallets, right? If you have multiple wallets, you're mitigating a risk or at least dispersing it, as the chances that someone will get you for, every wallet that you have around, it's pretty close, next to impossible. So
even to piggyback that, Rob, I had somebody that also had a situation where they had connected to a smart contract, but they had like all of their ERC20 tokens in this one wallet. So, if you do want to take that risk, for a specific token or whatever, just generate a new wallet. If you're using MetaMask, it's very easy. Just hit the little plus, you make a new wallet, throw a little bit of ETH in there. That way, in case that wallet gets compromised, you're not compromising the entire portfolio.
Yeah.
You never.
I typically segregate my different tokens.
Yeah, like keeping it all in one wallet, to me, do your own, but that's crazy. I always, that's what I do.
And then I know it sounds counter Bitcoin and counter crypto, but if you're new, I would keep it for the short term until you can educate yourself and do it properly. I'm okay with keeping assets if it's not a large amount on the exchange, just until you learn how to move it, because I think there's a lot more.
What exchange would you recommend?
Like the big, like Coinbase. If you're in the States, like here's the thing. Like if I just talked to somebody today and they're like, "Hey, I want to buy my first Bitcoin," I'm like, "Have you ever bought it before?" I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to explain how to do a seed phrase, and I'm like, if you want to buy it, you want to get it today, just keep it on the exchange. Don't move it. They have Coinbase Vault if you want to use that thing. And then educate yourself, figure out how hardware wallets work, and what is a seed phrase, and where is a good place for you to store your seed phrase, or I would go through those processes before you just YOLO into trying to put it on a stick and sending it to the wrong address and burning it, or God knows what else. So
would you say
I would just not make fast moves. I would just take your time.
Would you say an exchange is better than a hot wallet for a newcomer? So MetaMask,
I would think so. I would say yes, actually.
Yeah. Just because you're sending from an exchange to a wallet is a
but it depends on the exchange, like you said. If you're gonna do some random fly by night, no KYC, whatever kind of
Crypto Lion and over in Singapore, or
Coin
something.
Tiger.
Yeah.
Or there were so many back
There's
in the day that
those. I mean, even something even something like KuCoin. I know they're a big player. They have a lot of alts. They operate offshore. I mean, I have confidence in KuCoin, but I wouldn't keep my assets on there. I wouldn't keep my assets anywhere. But I'm just saying that if you're just getting into the market, I would just say take your time is where I'm getting at, and don't rush. Don't buy Bitcoin and feel like you have to remove it within 12 hours. It's probably going to be okay for a few weeks while you educate yourself, and just take your time and make moves, make the smart moves. Yeah.
Forrest, do you agree with Robin?
Yeah. I think ultimately for most people, like self custody is one of the biggest problems, and the Bitcoin ETF is going to solve a lot of that. I think the vast majority of newcomers will buy Bitcoin through the ETF, through their TD Ameritrade account, through their whatever broker they use. Most of these transactions will probably be done by people's financial advisors. They won't actually be even executing any trades, and they'll just own Bitcoin with 3 to 5, maybe 10% of their portfolio if they're being super aggressive on crypto. But I don't think that self-custody is right for the vast majority of people for exactly these reasons. Obviously, the risks of getting hacked. Jason's a really, really nice guy. I've had the pleasure of speaking with him a couple times. I recommend everybody go and watch his video. The underlying message that he gives is that don't put your faith in tangible things. Don't put your faith in money. Don't put your faith in crypto. He's strong in his faith. So I think he's going to be just fine. But when it comes to self-custody, I just don't think that that's the way we reach mass adoption. I think, whether you like BlackRock or not, whether you like these asset managers or not, they are going to be filling a need in the market, and that's custody. I know they'll be using like Coinbase custody and some other custody solutions, but the average person, if they want exposure to Bitcoin, they don't need to be going and buying it themselves. There's just too many people in this world that I know. Think of your cousin, your mom, your uncle. Do they really need to be going and figuring out self-custody? Yeah, it would be great if they did. It would be awesome if they took on that responsibility. But there's people that are just not going to take on that responsibility and not going to figure that out, and not going to take on that risk. And that's where Bitcoin ETF is going to service those people.
Yeah, for me, I tend to agree. But I want to make one thing very clear. It doesn't mean that I don't believe self-custody is the best thing to do, because I 100% believe it. But we got to understand, the masses, they're not going to self-custody. They'd rather hold it on their bank starts to custody crypto. They'd rather have their checking, saving, my investment, my car loan, my house loan, and my Bitcoin. They're going to go for convenience 9 out of 10 times. But for us, right, for the people that actually want to exit the system or have an outlet to the current monetary system we have in place, self-custody is the only way to go, in my opinion. But I do understand the masses probably not going to do that. We talked a little bit about inflation. Well, this might make things worse. The Union of Auto Workers officially begins a strike. So the Ford, GM, and Stellantis, their workers are going on strike at the 3 plants. As many as 146,000 people will not be going to work. So this is 46% of the entire auto production in the United States. With $90 plus oil prices, this is another curveball for the Fed. So will new car prices go up? We know the monthly payments are going up. So still not good. The Fed keeps trying to get their handle on inflation, and well, we keep messing things up. We have this video from Gary G.
Ooh,
yeah. So he was on an interview.
He's my favorite content creator.
Yeah, steak. His HR style videos. Let's hear what Gary had to say.
Comments. So whether it's about broker dealers, whether it's about exchanges, whether it's about custody, we have taken up the path where we find it appropriate to put out the public comments and proposals. But there are laws, there are rules, not just here at the SEC, but across a number of areas. I think this is a field that a lot of it just wants to run past that and suggest otherwise.
They do seem to be finding some sympathetic judges. So you have to be careful on that one.
Silence.
We've done
comments.
How awkward was that? Guys,
everything is awkward with Gary. Because anytime that man is in a situation to answer questions, it's just a very awkward situation.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know what answering a question truly means. But guys, I think we're at a point now, and we can see it through the court process, that this whole crypto chokehold is coming to an end. And that is the beauty of having checks and balances in a country like the US. Nothing is ever unilateral. You can always, can't find the word I'm looking for.
Vote.
Yes, you can.
There you go.
Not the word I'm looking for. You can challenge. You can always challenge rules, regulations, laws, and how they're interpreted. And it looks like majority of the judges, what we've seen so far on the surface level, are siding with our vision of how to be regulated in tech. So that's always a good thing.
Then a quick shout out real quick. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop that old lot back at you. We got Jansel and Mr. Pooh Sham.
Jansel, Mr. Pooh, huh?
Something. BitMac, Loud Smoke, Goodot, K, Ty Gorton, and Chuck Strickland. And also, personal shout out to Sistine Crypto. To all of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Getting close to that 100 likes. So
also, Alex
train
going
going
here too. Alex.
Yeah.
What's up, Alex? All right, guys, let's get into the markets. But first,
and Sistine Crypto was saying, wants to come out here for In-N-Out Burger. I was telling her that Fat Burger is better.
In-N-Out Burger is better.
No, Fat Burger. If you haven't had,
You guys
Fat
know
Burger,
I've never had In-N-Out Burger, ever.
we're gonna
never
get
had
one as soon as we leave here.
Yes,
Thank you.
we're getting one today after.
And we're also gonna get Fat Burger. We're gonna do a compare and contrast.
We're not
side by
getting
side.
2 burgers. Anyways, guys, today's market segment is brought to you by our other channel sponsor, and that is I Trust Capital. If you want to set up a self-directed Roth IRA, but invest in crypto instead of the traditional markets, there's one company we trust, and that is I Trust Capital. Not only will you find all the top cryptocurrencies on the platform, but you can also invest in precious metals as well. If you use the link in the description of this video, you will receive a free $100 once you fund your account. So with that being said, Robin, Bitcoin is dumping 26.3.
There it is.
What's the rest of the market looking like?
All right, so Bitcoin's kind of just hanging out where it's been for the week, 26,000. A little higher than we were right at the $25,000 mark, but we know we've been here for about a month. Getting into the altcoin markets, take a look at the biggest movers. You have up Arweave, Toncoin, Maker, DAO, also XDC, all up 4% and more.
Where is Arweave? Number 95?
Yeah, it's crept back into 100. Here at the bottom of the list. Biggest losers today, you got IOTA, Nexo, ApeCoin, Casper, and Conflux as well. Not too much movement in the markets, more the lower tokens. But yeah, would you like to
Let's get Forrest. Let's look at some charts. I also heard you got 2 new indicators that you just introduced. Maybe we can use those on the Bitcoin chart. That'd be cool. And kind of talk us through it.
Yeah, absolutely. So just looking at the Bitcoin chart here, I do have the easy bands on. Normally they're red and green, but I just blacked them out just to make it a little bit easier on the eyes. So the ranges that we're looking at, let me first take off the easy bands and throw on just let's look at our ranges. We've now back tested this 25K level, which this line might be drawn a little bit high, but 25K held again. That was that was the top of our prior range. We've now held it twice. That in the short term is actually pretty bullish. The fact that we did not get acceptance below 25K. If we were hanging out below 25K right now, that would be very, very bad, because when you re-enter a range, you very frequently find yourself reverting to the midpoint and or down to the bottom of the range. The bottom of the range is like 18K, like 18 to 19K. Right now, if we look at all of the things happening in the space right now, they're all bearish except for one. The one thing that's bullish is this Bitcoin ETF, which I've kind of got marked out October 16th. Now, we could hear something on October 7th. I believe there is one ETF that has a deadline as soon as October 7th. That'll be worth watching. But I believe the bulk of them come October 16th and 17th. I believe October 17th is the BlackRock ETF date. My expectation is that because this Bitcoin ETF would have such strong or create such strong inflows into Bitcoin, or basically suck up so much supply of Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin, I've seen some analysts, say within 10 days, they would expect around 32K. And within about 100 days, they would expect somewhere around 40K based on some of the inflows that we've seen in the past for Bitcoin futures ETFs. And they estimate these spot ETFs would see larger inflows than that. So the closer we get to that date, and I believe I'm putting it at somewhere around a 50-50 chance. I believe James Seifert and the other Bloomberg analysts have said 75% chance of approval by the end of this year, 90% chance of approval by the end of 2024. There's a pretty decent chance of approval in mid-October. I don't know exactly what that is, but the market should, as we approach that date, start to price that in. After holding 25K, right? And as we approach, as we exit September, which is historically a bearish month, and it has been so far, and as we approach this ETF date, I would expect us to start pricing some of that EV in, that expected value of a chance of a Bitcoin ETF. Then what I think is going to happen wherever we end up, I think if we get a delay on the ETF, I think we nuke pretty hard, to be quite honest. And if we do get the ETF, I do think we can pump, and I do think we have some
Hey, Forrest.
potential negative catalysts coming on down the road. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you said we nuke pretty hard. What does that scenario look like? What are some numbers you're looking at?
Yeah. Yeah. So the first of all, the reason why I think we'd nuke pretty hard is I believe that the Bitcoin ETF is what's propping up the market right now. Speculators like 25K Bitcoin, that's just is a steal. If we end up getting a Bitcoin ETF, buyers at 25K, I mean, they got a great price on Bitcoin. The problem is we have the Mt. Gox distribution coming up on October 31st. That's a soft date that may be delayed. We also have the government with, I believe, around 30,000 Bitcoin that they claim that they plan to sell by the end of the year. Again, I don't know if they'll actually sell that by the end of the year. And we have those FTX liquidations kicking in to the tune of about 50 million to 100. Well, 50 million last week and now 100 million in crypto per week that they can sell off. Not a lot of it's Bitcoin. I believe it's like $500 million worth of Bitcoin. It's not a ton. It's not anything that's not absorbable by the market, but it is still a little bit of an overhang. I think the main thing is that the U.S. government's Bitcoin and the fact that we just don't have a bullish catalyst outside of this ETF approval and the Bitcoin halving, which is kind of a ways away. And we have the Mt. Gox thing and we have the government thing. So that scenario for me was my base case is drifting upwards and doing a mean reversion. What I mean by a mean reversion, let me throw on the easy bands. This is our 21-week simple moving average. Our 21-week simple moving average right now is sitting at 28K. Right now, Bitcoin's price is sitting at 26,394, 26,400. I think that instead of the slow bleed that we've seen, I think we start to see a little bit of speculation kick in towards October, and we come up to this 21-week simple moving average between 27, maybe 29K, right? Just a mean reversion for Bitcoin going into this ETF decision. And I think if we get the ETF, we see a really solid pump. Whether or not we run that back down or not is to be determined. I'm actually quite bullish on a Bitcoin ETF because of what it means for Bitcoin, inflows of money into Bitcoin. If we get a delay, it basically just removes this thing this positive catalyst, or at least delays it for another 45 days. And then all of a sudden we don't have anything bullish happening for quite a while, and we've got all this supply overhang. I think that's the scenario where we potentially re-enter this 25K range, and we get another opportunity to bid crypto at lower levels, which I'm not complaining about. I mean, we still have it's less than a year now, maybe I guess 8 months. Yeah, coming up somewhere around 8 months. April 2024 is the Bitcoin halving. Yep, go ahead.
Just real quick, just because you mentioned the U.S. government. So the government's fiscal year, the new one, starts October 1st and September 30th. So that is when all the budgets and everything reset. Not saying they're going to dump all 30,000 before then and use it for, for their budget, but that is a possibility, just a date to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And while I do think we fall if the Bitcoin ETF gets delayed, I'm not in the doom and gloom category either. I know a lot of people are still talking about 10K Bitcoin, 12K Bitcoin, coming back to revisit 15K Bitcoin. I actually think Bitcoin has a lot of demand and a lot of buyers in this kind of 23K cluster range, as well as this 21K cluster range. I don't think that I don't think a move, a mid bear market move, from 31K down to 21K is all that crazy for Bitcoin. Obviously, it's a 33% drawdown or so. But it's really nothing that the market can't handle, and I think it creates a buying opportunity. I'm not in the camp, and I'm open to the possibility, of course. If something crazy happens. But I'm not in the camp that we go below 15K. And the reason I'm not is just because it took the FTX collapse to send us that low. Short of Binance going under, which is a distinct possibility, I just don't see us putting in a new low for Bitcoin below 15K.
Hey, Forrest, do you have the VPVR?
Go ahead.
You can't hear me?
No, you're good.
Forrest, can you pull up the VPVR? Or the VR VP, whatever.
I'm not even familiar with what that is.
Oh, okay.
Is
It's the volume range profile. If you go into
fixed range volume profile,
yeah, it should come up on the right side. You see that?
Oh,
do you see that amount of interest? You just VPVR, you got it right there, or VRVP. Sorry, I said it wrong. I think it's interchangeable.
Yeah, let me use the fixed range volume profile.
Yeah, that was fine. That worked as well. So you see right there, do you see that amount of interest right there around that 20K-ish area?
Yep.
And then it's a huge drop off, and then you have that interest at the bottom. I just don't see, like, if we lose that level, we're going back down to the 15. But I look at the 7 years, that we've had to accumulate at that level. I mean, you're talking about erasing multiple years of price action. There's just way too much interest at that $20,000 level. So these people that are calling for, this crazy 10K, 12K Bitcoin, who do they think is going to sell that Bitcoin? If they've been holding at that level? There's been so much speculation at that level for so many years. If you've had conviction to hold it for this long, the ETF got delayed, so that's the moment we dump it. You see what I'm saying? It's just, I don't understand where this negative catalyst that these so-called gurus are saying, where's that selling pressure going to come from? The retail? They can't move the markets like that. I'm agreeing with you, by the way.
I agree. And if you look at this fixed range volume profile, I mean, that's ultimately where the bottom was. And then FTX came in and caused our deviation from that.
Right.
I mean,
that
FTX was a freak event. Yeah. So short of Binance going under, which is possible, short of Binance going under, I just don't see a catalyst that can take us below this level. So I agree. I mean, I think these are your bid opportunities at 23 and 21K. If we get a Bitcoin ETF delay and people get spooked and people get bored with the market and we bleed off, I think those are the accumulation opportunities personally.
Interesting. Okay. I like this. It's good.
We got a little love in the chat I'd like to send back because they gave a lot of love to us. First of all, we got Web3 MCT has joined the Hodler Club. So, welcome to the Hodler Club. And then also we got Jimmy gifted 20 memberships. You're supposed to receive gifts on your birthday, but we'll take it. Also, Dave Digital, $2 super chat. When AOC, not to be confused with the politician, but Alex O Crypto, and MTC on SCC. Wait, what? Anyway, he's asking, when's Alex and Miss Teen Crypto going to come in the studio? We'd like to know. Not me, but at least Dave Digital does. Also, Del May, Crypto Sold, Gary with a G, RS Crypto Music, WeRS, Crypto Hunter, to all of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, this is your last chance to hit the like button. I don't know what happens if you don't, but yeah, there you go.
So Zombie, I know you do a lot of TA and you don't have your laptop here with you, so we don't have a chart you can pull up, but you mentioned, you said you don't know why people think we're going under 15. Is there any scenario in your mind that the low is not in? And what are your thoughts with the ETF post-halving? Give us your scenario, your outlook over the next 12 to 18 months.
Well, if you've been following my channel, this is what we've been talking about. I'm actually glad you asked. So as far as why we're not going to, what could cause it? World War III. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, even a recession, it's like, come on, they've been calling for a recession. We're probably already kind of in one right now, but it's just like, oh, it's coming. And all these gurus, it's like, I watch them calling for lower levels at 15.5. And I feel bad for their followers who've been sitting in cash this whole time, missing out on 110% pump. Oh, but it's a bull trap. Yeah, 110% bull trap. Right, that's a bull trap. So yes, the ETF is extremely important. I actually, Forrest took the words right out of my mouth. Yes, a lot of people, we talk to the regular masses. So when I discuss self-custody and crypto, having a ledger or something like that, we're talking to a different facet of people. If you want to get that next wave, if you want to get the big money, yes, they're used to forgetting their password and calling up, their bank or something. So yes, the ETF is going to bring in massive money. I don't agree with what people say, that they say it's going to be a sell the news event. What I think is, there could be a little bit of a sell the news, possibly. Maybe they announce it pumps, then on the actual day it gets listed. Maybe you see a sell-off to try to, catch people off sides. But ultimately, we're talking about trillions of dollars coming in potentially. I mean, if you just look at the asset managers that have, I don't even know the number, over 15 trillion.
Like 17, 18.
Yeah, 70. Take 1% of that. 1% of that. And you're talking about Bitcoin easily hitting 42, 45. I mean, just look at the numbers, look at the market cap. And I'm not scared about all these FTX FUD, all this stuff. If you look at the amount, I forget, what did you said they had 30,000 that Bitcoin they could dump, right? So 30,000 times the current price, roughly 26, is about $780 million. Yeah, well, if we go right here and have a look at CoinMarketCap, and I don't care if you want to call it wash trading, whatever. We've done 9.7 billion in just the past 24 hours. The market is going to absorb the shock. And I understand that it sucks for people right now. If prices do start going up, they're going to sell out of desperation. I get it. But man, when you understand these guys like BlackRock and what they're doing, it's their ego. You know, they want to be the guys that hold the assets that appreciate. That's what they're known for. They don't want to launch an ETF and then the price dumps. What would that do for their ego? What would that do for their reputation? They want to see that price appreciation. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this. So, open interest, 6.6 billion on Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So who cares if FTX dumps? Who cares if the government dumps? Let them dump. You're going to get a scam wick to the downside. Good. All of our buy orders get filled and we're good. So yeah, I mean, when you talk about these numbers, $100,000 Bitcoin, $150,000 Bitcoin, completely 100% in the cards. And, you know, when you understand, like, check out British Hodl. I love that guy. He's been really diving deep into it. You know, these guys, they're going to get their crypto. They're not going to want to sell their crypto or Bitcoin in the ETF. They're going to use the Bitcoin as collateral, right, to borrow against it, which is injecting more liquidity into the traditional banking system, which is a win-win for everybody. So no, it's only going to appreciate. It's only going to go up. And anybody who's out there telling you that this big ETF is something to just, you know, take it all and crash it, no, don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
It comes down to liquidity, right?
Yeah.
Like we saw when the futures ETF got approved, $1 billion in a day. Imagine that, $1 billion in a day, and they actually have to go out and buy that $1 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Exactly.
That is the difference, guys. Is these trades in this ETF, it has to be settled and rebalanced. I believe the frequency is once a week on Fridays before market closes.
It's exposure for institutions and traditional finance, the traditional markets, finance corporations, hedge funds, to get an exposure to crypto, Bitcoin particularly, without any of the downside risk of custodying it yourself. You don't have to worry about explaining what a seed phrase is. You can just say, hey, we want a position on Bitcoin. Here, throw this at it. All you got to do is pick up the phone. You don't have to worry about any of the downside risk that comes with writing a seed phrase. That's the way they're going to operate. Now, you do have outliers like Michael Saylor. Perhaps it's just in MicroStrategy, probably going to stay the course. Hey, we'll buy it and custody it ourselves. But 99% of institutions and traditional money, is people that are just trading on the stock market, they're going to just buy it the new way and have BlackRock custody it for you. And then not to mention you got retirement funds, pension funds, nonprofit organizations can all get a position. Those are huge. Those are always overlooked, but those are some very, very big organizations that have positions in commodities, in the gold market, and also oil, things of that nature. And so I'm sure they're going to also hedge that portfolio as well and get into Bitcoin. So,
and we can't forget about the largest wealth transfer ever. I think the number is close to $50 trillion will be transferred from the baby boomers to the next generation. And we know that generation plus my generation, which is like the millennials, we're getting tired of the traditional system. We want to have our money in things like Bitcoin. So when that money gets rolled over, when that 401k gets rolled over, now you have your 35, 40, 45-year-old kid control of that money. Hey, how much of that is going to flow into Bitcoin? So I think that's important as well. I do want to share this crypto bubble, some what the rest of the markets are doing. The biggest gainers, Hex up 13.4%, Toncoin. So big news from Telegram. They just launched a crypto wallet inside their app. That is why the token is pumping. MakerDAO, Injective, VeChain, who just got listed on Coinbase, that is pumping as well. Some of the biggest losers. Rollbit, Myota, and ApeCoin. To our two TA experts, gentlemen, anything on here stand out to you?
Hex is doing good.
I mean, we're just looking at a bunch of bubbles. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It stands that some are doing well. Let's pull up the Bitcoin dominance chart and have a look at that. And that might give us a better, the thing is you got to look at the bigger picture of it. I mean, this is cool. This is showing you percentage based in dollars. Can you switch this to Bitcoin? You know what I mean? I mean, we're taught, that's what I'm saying. If you do to the Bitcoin comparative,
you can.
How does that look today? Okay. So there's some, you know what it is? There's a little bit of speculation going on. But I always laugh because you look at it long term, and a lot of these altcoins in the longer period of time, I'm talking like 2-3 years. It's like, wow, like my coin was $20, now it's 200. It's like, yeah, but in Bitcoin comparative, it's lower, But yeah, good for Ton. That's awesome. And I don't know what's going on with Hex. They got a strong community, man. The guy that does my gutters at my house, he's an official Hexican. He never stops talking about it every time he comes over. So
not sure if that's a jab or not, but
well, I mean, my gutter guy, yeah. So I see him once every 3 years or something, yeah.
What about you, Forrest? Anything in the alt market that kind of stands out to you? You want to speak on Ton Coin or Hex or anything else you got your eye on?
Toncoin's interesting just because I see so many Telegram, crypto Telegram based products and bots coming out. Obviously you have Unibot that's done extraordinarily well recently. So that seems to be an emerging market to worth keeping an eye on. IOTA I saw was down. I believe they just came out and said they're like printing 4 billion more tokens, inflating their supply. So it's no surprise that they're down 5 or 6%. Wouldn't touch Hex with a 10-foot pole. Feel bad for anybody who's bought into that scam. It is what it is. But yeah, those were the ones that jumped out to me.
Awesome. Also want to give a shout out to Alex Crypto, who did a $5 super chat.
He said, appreciate you guys. Happy Friday. Keep up the good work. Also, Tornado T-Tube, new here as well. So to you. Hola! Welcome.
All right. Guys, if you are a fan of Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR, if you're a member of this channel, throw the Hedera logo in there or put a 1 in the chat. Now, I do want to share this piece of news. Hedera stablecoin launch, why this can accelerate the network's growth. So this is sourced from AMB Crypto. A couple of things I've highlighted here. The Hedera blockchain just made possibly one of its most important announcements this year. The network plans to push full speed ahead into the stablecoin segment, and this could set precedents for aggressive growth in the next 12 months. The announcement revealed that Hedera is venturing into the stablecoin industry through its newly launched Stablecoin Studio. The new stablecoin toolkit will be business to business. The target clients are payment providers, companies, and institutional stablecoin issuers. Institutional liquidity is one of the biggest drivers in crypto and beyond. This focus could thus offer a new lifeline for Hedera's dream of achieving mass adoption and utility. An example they give is the Tron network, as it has achieved immense growth mostly through stablecoins. Rob, I'm going to ask you first. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is over-exaggerating what it could potentially do to Hedera's ecosystem? You talk about liquidity all the time, and so, share your thoughts.
Well, when you look at CoinMarketCap or any of these websites that tell you how much money is in certain projects, well, what do you got in the top 10? You got USDT. Also, you got the USDC.
DAI is up there now?
Yeah, DAI is up here as well. So a large proportion of the market is made up of stablecoins. And so that's a lot of money to be made there. And so if you're looking to identify what are going to be the lead projects and perhaps the next bull market, well, if the stable coins are at where they're at now, when we 2, 3, 10x the overall market cap of crypto in general, there's going to be a large amount of that going to be in stable coins. And who is going to be facilitating the movement of stable coins? The leaders in that space, I think, are going to benefit the most in the next bull market. Remember, at its core, crypto facilitates finance, particularly DeFi. Look no further than Bitcoin. And I know it's a store of value, but hey, it was created as a peer-to-peer network to transfer money and to pay for goods. But I know it kind of got lost from that original thesis and went over to more of a store of value. But hey, crypto is for finance. That's what it was built for. And hey, we finance. We like to transact in dollars. That's how we spend money. We spend money. We don't go buy a cup of coffee and spend 0.0008 Bitcoin. We just pay for it in a unit that we're familiar with, dollars. That's the way it's gonna stay for quite some time. I'm sure maybe it'll change in the future. I don't know, but I don't see any time in the near future. And so stable coins are the way to go. And whatever chains are backing stable coins, powering that ecosystem, these large companies, Circle, Tether, who are they partnering with? Who are they using? And on the rails of those chains are where you want to position yourself, or at least that's where I am for the next bull market, is one of the sectors I'm targeting. So.
What are your thoughts, Forrest?
Yeah, so actually, I was talking to my brother about this a day or two ago, and essentially, he used to work at Chainlink. Now he runs a company that he started a company that deploys private blockchains for enterprise solutions. So, like one of the things they recently did was they deployed a private blockchain to move gold onto the blockchain, like gold reserves that's still actually underground. It gets like surveyed, and they have like this whole process for bringing it on chain and making it tradable among enterprises. But he was talking about how stablecoin, like the biggest, everyone talks about NFTs and blockchain gaming and this and that. And he's of the opinion, and I agree that one of the biggest use cases for crypto immediately is in terms of what can be immediately adopted is stablecoin, stablecoin infrastructure. So, or infrastructure for payments that leverage stablecoins. So essentially the model that we've seen for moving money around in the traditional finance and legacy system is way outdated. Sending a wire transfer is absolutely nuts. The Swift system, very, very inefficient. But being able to do so on a blockchain by sending stablecoins or send value in stablecoins, very, very valuable. Payment processing in stablecoins, very, very valuable. And I'm all about Bitcoin and ETH and in crypto in the value that those provide. But at the end of the day, in the world we live in right now, despite the hyperinflation and despite the fact that the US dollar does have an expiration date, in my opinion, at some point or another. You still go to the grocery store and you still pay your groceries in US dollars. I think we are a ways away. Sometimes it feels closer than what it actually is when you're in the thick of the crypto space and you see the damage that's happening with the US dollar and other fiat currencies and the inflation there. But at the end of the day, dollars are still, the predominant currency to be used right now. And I think the immediate wave that we see is actually just the payment infrastructure and the payment rails moving to a blockchain solution and the stable coins on top of that. So you see Solana testing USDC payments, right? Piloting that program. Similar use case there. So I think stable coins are going to be one of the fastest growing use cases for crypto, to be quite honest.
Do you agree, Zombie? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely 100% agree with that. People don't know how to price things in Bitcoin. It's not a unit of account. Maybe it will be in the future. Maybe we will. Who knows? But right now, it's not a unit of account. You can't go to the grocery store and have the price change from the time that you went to the back. And you know what I'm saying? But at the same point, to discredit Bitcoin as well, I bring it back to Gersham's law, which is bad money drives out good money. So again, we're back at the grocery store. I'm buying $100 worth of groceries, and the grocer says, well, I'll take cash or I'll take Bitcoin. Which one are you going to pay with? Well, I'm not going to pay with Bitcoin. Why would I do that? I want to get rid of my cash. I want to give him my cash because I know that cash is going to be worth less and less and less over time. I want to hold my Bitcoin. So, I think short term, yeah, you are going to have because just think about these. Like you said, these rails, they don't work. They're outdated. So yeah, people want to settle things in something that they're familiar with as the US dollar. And I think people want to store their value in something that they believe will appreciate. So I think they go hand in hand, but I couldn't agree more. I think stable coins are going to be huge. They're going to keep growing over time. And I think they are going to be a very, very large contributor to crypto adoption moving forward.
Yeah. And I think they serve an increasingly important role in our ecosystem. And not just for that, but for a country like the US as well. We talk about this all the time, but Tether, they are the 22nd largest holder of US debt. And it's because they have to have every dollar of their stablecoin backed by highly liquid assets. It used to be a lot of commercial paper and junk bonds, and they have moved the majority of that into extremely liquid assets. And what is the most liquid market in the world? It is the U.S. capital markets, and that includes the U.S. Treasury markets as well. Gentlemen, I need to ask you, Zombie, What are your plans for your weekend? You got any crazy Vegas plans here? What's going on?
I don't even know what day it is, man. I first of all, my brain, I'm still on East Coast schedule. I came in today and they were like, yeah, we're doing this our Friday show. We got Forrest on. I was like, today's Friday, so I don't know, man. My plans for the weekend are go back home and sleep, relax, and get back. It's just this whole week feels like a weekend to me. So hopefully just hang out. There's a few more people down here that I want to meet. Some friends in crypto. I'd like to go out maybe with you guys. We could chill. Yeah, that's it, man. I'm looking forward to getting back on the grind. I'm jet lagged like heck, man. I just wanna get back on the grind.
Awesome, man. What about you, Forrest? Any fun things happening over your weekend?
Me, I ask the wife when she gets home what the plans are, and sometimes we have plans, sometimes we don't. Last week, ended up going to the Falcons game. So maybe something will pop up again. But the last point, I do want to go back to the stablecoin thing because I feel like people get a little bit weird about stablecoins, but stablecoins going up on chain, the stablecoin market cap going up is good for Bitcoin and ETH price. It is good. You see more stablecoins move on chain. That's more liquidity that can flow into Bitcoin and ETH. So just keep that in mind. But as far as the weekend goes, no, I just take it one day at a time. We'll see what happens.
We know what Robin's doing over the weekend. Guys, I don't know. I can't say it on air. Oh. Now, I do want to give a couple, everyone's all confused. Do want to give one last shout out. Channel sponsors, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business grow, visit bluewiretech.com. Also, big shout out to Radix for sponsoring the channel as well. The top layer 1 DeFi protocol, radically better DeFi. Visit radixdlt.com. Speaking of .coms, visit youtube.com and subscribe to our guest channels. So I got them pulled up here. The first one going to be our in-studio guest, Crypto Zombie. I saw a couple people in here. I saw S-Dog in here. Seemed like he never watched you, said you're legit, which he's absolutely right. So go subscribe to Crypto Zombie at Crypto Zombie on YouTube. I believe Rocco had thrown that in the chat as well. And then go follow Zombie on Twitter as well at the Crypto Zombie. I like that you follow us, man.
Of course I follow you guys. Come on.
Well, we had a guest one time. I was like, hey, you don't follow us.
No,
like,
I followed you guys for a very long time. I like your show, man. You guys do good. You're entertaining. You know what I like about you guys? You lighten the mood up, Sometimes, and I'm the same way on my channel, it's like, okay, we get it. Let's have some fun, okay? Yeah. I've been looking at the 25K price range now for months. Let's at least throw some jokes in there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're entertainment capital, man. And
or when you need to look at a video of a tiger. What the hell? Okay, here we go. So, all right. Would you ever mess around with a tiger?
No.
How about two?
Unless you're Mike Tyson.
Oh, look at you. Or a monkey just straight smacking tigers. This monkey is gangster,
tigers,
bro.
Climb trees?
Look at him just pulling his ear.
Bears can climb trees.
Yanking his
I
tail.
Tigers can. I know my cat can climb pretty high. And
I feel like this is a guy at the club here in Vegas. Just coming out of nowhere, just grabbing people.
Guys, also, if you're not already, which I don't know why, because Forrest has been on our channel for like over a year now. But if you're not already, go subscribe to Sistine Research on YouTube at Sistine Research and go follow Forrest. He just changed his Twitter handle to at Sistine Research. And so go follow him there. Gentlemen, I want to thank both of you, Zombie and Forrest, for joining us today. It was an extremely special show. Forrest, anything you want to leave the community with before we sign off?
You cut out there. Was that directed at me?
Yes, yeah. Anything you want to say to our community before we sign off?
Guys, just hang in there. Risk management is usually what I preach. Don't be too crazy. Handle risk appropriately. Be prepared for scenarios where we go down. Be prepared for scenarios where we go up. But the main thing to pay attention to, guys, in the crypto space right now is the Bitcoin ETF. So you have a couple weeks here of potentially pretty laid back price action. In comparison to what the fireworks I think we'll get when we get that mid-October ETF delay or approval. So that's the main thing to keep in mind.
What about you, Zombie? Any parting words for our community?
Oh, I hate that. I hate the last word thing. It feels so definitive. Yeah, you guys know how.
Until next time.
You guys know how it is. If you're watching this right now and you're still here, let's be real. You guys are early. And people say, no, we're not early because we could have bought Bitcoin at $8. Yeah, you could have. I could have, but most people didn't. And I'll tell you what, a lot of the people who did, don't let it fool you. They sold it, okay? So just trust me on that one. The one thing I will tell you, though, that I've been thinking about the whole we are early thing probably is not going to be applicable after the next bull run.
I agree.
So
100%.
I do believe that this is the last major bull run for the little guys, for the retail, to really front run these other institutions, because once the ball is in their court, it's just not going to be feasible. You know, Bitcoin, you know, it went from $1,000. Okay, I save it up a couple weeks, and then, you know, next thing we're at 6,000. Okay, you know, let me think 20,000, 100,000. It's starting to get priced out. When we get that $100,000, $300,000 Bitcoin, that's even going to be a lot for people that have a lot of money. Okay. Even a millionaire, you got $1 million and I got to drop 300 on a Bitcoin.
Right.
You don't want to be that person. Okay. So, you know, if you have the conviction, you believe in it, and you came this far, just go with your intuition. I think you guys know where this place is going. You know, I can't talk about the altcoins. I do believe in Bitcoin, as you guys could tell the hat. So yeah, like I said, if you know, get as much as you can right now. I'm not saying do what I did. Please don't let the house go into foreclosure, especially if you have family and children. But just try to get as much as you can, because once these guys start controlling it, you know, you see what happened with the gold. You know, the price suppression, or you know, not suppression, but yeah.
I 100% agree with you what you said, and I've said this as well. This might very well be the very last bull market where we stop seeing these massive drawdowns and we start seeing these mass players come in, and we know what they do to markets. It's going to be good for price. But you're going to want to have your Bitcoin and move it off.
I agree that I want to say one thing. I do think it's going to still keep going up and to the right. I do believe that forever. It's going to go. I believe Bitcoin will go up and to the right indefinitely forever. But
at least when it's priced against
fiat. But I just don't think that you're going to get these types of moves anymore. You know, you're going to get. I mean, you think this market is boring. How about this market? But it takes 10 years now to do that same price action.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
it'll be interesting for sure. And we hope when that time comes, you'll be watching our channel. So with that being said, Rocco, it's called the finger tornado zombie.
Oh,
it's my patented move. It's my patented move.
When does the tornado? Does this?
And then we got a tornado up. I know tornadoes come down.
It's lackluster.
Up. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Not. That's it. That's the finishing move.
Bro, that's perfect right there, bro.
I'm so proud of it.
You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. What an amazing show. Big thank you to our two guests, Forrest and Zombie. Go support them. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
City, crypto. Everybody know we
Jimmy, happy birthday again.
Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya, to the moon, then to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.